Yo, we're live, guys. What's up? What's up, Snow Man? All right. Let me do something really quick. Let me tweet out the stream, and then um, I can jump into it. All right, that's out. All right, let me go back to Fantasy Labs. We can go over what we know so far. The big news is Giannis, right? He's doubtful. I don't know if he's got ruled out yet, but let's go back to the beginning of the day here. A lot of this stuff. Okay, so let's see. PJ Washington looks like he's gonna be good to go. Some of the stuff is for Saturday or Sunday even. Let's see. LeBron, yeah, a lot of the stuff is still Saturday. Sorry, I gotta scroll through this really quick. Schroeder questionable. He just got confirmed in. Again, Giannis, this is the big news. This is the slate changing news from when I made the video last night. He is out or doubtful. So a lot of those Bucks now become very, very much in play. Let's see. What else do we got? Magic are starting their same starting five. PJ Washington will start. Pascal is out. Not huge news, but I think Draymond or some of those wings maybe get a few extra minutes. Schroeder again available to play. Alex Len out, Jabari out. I already talked about Alex Len being out. I really don't think we still have, or we still should target Fernando or Damian Jones. I just don't think we have to go there. Jabari is out as well, so we could target some of those other Hawks wings. They're starting Young, Herter, Hunter, Collins, and Fernando. Again, yeah, Giannis did just get ruled out. Same starters here for Charlotte or with the Washington back end: Graham, Rozier, Bridges, Washington, and Biyombo. Deion Waiters is active. Again, I don't know if he's going to play or not. Let's see. Malcolm Brogdon just got ruled out. So Aaron Holiday is a guy we can look to. We can also look to TJ McConnell as a value play. Yeah, let's look at some numbers really quick here. I might have to refresh this actually. So we got OKC Charlotte 207.5 with OKC favored by 1. 76ers Magic sitting at 210.5. 76ers favored by 4.5 points. Bucks Hawks is the big one, right? 235.5. The Bucks still favored by 7.5 points. Pacers Heat 212 with Miami favored by 5.5. And then the late night hammer here is Suns Warriors 224 with the Suns favored by 4. Oh shoot, I gotta go to another contest here. Hold on. Let's see. All right, so let's go team by team here, and then we can get to questions at the end. We got 35 minutes to lock, so we still got, or 25 minutes. We still got some time. So these OKC guys stand out as pretty solid plays in my opinion. The three guards at least with Chris Paul, SGA, and Schroeder. No Gallinari still. There's more usage to go around. Steven Adams is an okay play, but really my main interest here is these guards. Chris Paul, SGA, and Schroeder. I think all three are underpriced. I guess Chris Paul probably would be the safest. But SGA has flash upside. The downside with him is he's a little bit scoring dependent, and then Schroeder coming out the bench also has flash upside. So all three of those guys I'm interested in. All three are very, very much in play. I have no issue landing any of those guys. It's a close call if you're picking between the three. Again, I think you kind of go with your gut. But all three of those guys I think stand out as pretty solid plays with no Gallinari. Steven Adams is I think a pretty solid cash game play. He did have 51 fantasy points 2 games ago. Normally, he's not a guy that has huge upside. This is a pretty good spot to go on Charlotte. So I don't mind if we get there at his price. We still, again, no Gallinari. Basley started in his place, but only played 19 minutes. They used a combination of guys. So I don't think we have to go with those value guys. So again, my main interest here is the three guards, so CP3, SGA, and Schroeder. And I like all three of those guys a decent amount here. On the Charlotte side, I don't think I want any interest in those bigs with Zeller, Biyombo, Marvin Williams. They got PJ Washington. PJ Washington probably will play solid minutes, but even ahead of his price, I don't know if he has huge upside. So really the bigs, I don't have a whole lot of interest here, or even the wings. The main interest for me is probably Rozier or Devontae Graham. I think I'd prefer Rozier for $1,000 less. He's playing big minutes in close games. Him and Devontae Graham both are. And so for that reason, I think Rozier would probably be my preferred play on the Charlotte side. I don't mind if you get to Devontae Graham either. I think both those guys, are my favorite targets here for the Hornets. The issue with these guys is they're priced similar to a lot of really good plays. Like I just talked about those OKC guards. These guys are priced similarly, and you got Rubio, Devin Booker, D'Angelo Russell. There's a lot of guys, Chris Middleton. There's a lot of guys in this price range that are really, really good plays. So I think Graham and Rozier go very low owned, but I still have interest in Rozier at that price, and even Devontae Graham. Again, the cheap guys, not a whole lot of interest. Batum has been starting, but I don't know if I trust the minutes. I don't think we have to go there in the slate. So that's what I got for the Charlotte side. On Philly and Orlando, let's see. So Philly is, everyone is good to go here as far as their, starting lineup with Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Richardson, and Al Horford. Anytime you can get Embiid under 10K, I talk about it. It's always a spot that you can definitely get to. I think he's like a 10.5K player. So I do have interest in him at this price. It's Vucevic is a solid defender. It's not really the best spot. It's not the worst spot either. It's more of a mediocre matchup. So I think Joel Embiid is a perfectly fine option there at under 10K. And I also don't mind Ben Simmons. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. He's had 47, 60, and 55 the last 3 games. And he's a guy, again, doesn't have to score to get you there, but if he has a good scoring night, he could have had that big upside game. So I don't mind Ben Simmons. And Tobias Harris, I wish they could raise his price tag a bit. Now, personally, I'm still not playing him. It is a revenge game. I am worried because he is pretty cheap and he has flash upside. The concern with him is he is a little bit scoring dependent, doesn't do a lot peripheral stats-wise. Like, he will get rebounds, but not a guy that gets you a whole lot of assists. So a little bit more scoring dependent, so that's somewhat of a concern, but the upside is pretty big still, I think, in that price. Richardson, Horford, don't mind if you get there. I think I prefer Horford, but again, all in all, I think all 5 of these Philadelphia guys are the starters, at least, are perfectly fine. I don't see myself getting to the bench guys. Now, personally, am I playing these Philadelphia guys? I am not. I think there's guys in better spots at similar prices, but if you land on one of these Philly starters, I have no issue. I think all 5 stand out as pretty safe options with a bit of upside. And then on the Orlando side, not a whole lot I like besides Vucevic. So Gordon, Isaac, Fournier, Fultz. Don't see myself getting there, or Ross or Augustine at the bench. I just don't think we have to do it on this slate. The main interest here is Vucevic at 7.7K. But again, I still don't see myself getting there. I like his price. It's a tougher spot against Embiid. There's some foul trouble risk on both sides. So I just don't think we have to do it. So this game in general, not super excited. It's probably my least favorite game to target, the Philadelphia-Orlando game. So that kind of wraps it up. Again, not a whole lot of interest there. Now this is the big game here, Milwaukee and Atlanta. So no Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's just huge. Changes the whole entire slate. Now you're going to want some bucks. I think at least 2 bucks in your lineup. Start with Middleton. He's going to be the absolute chalk. I think everyone's going to play him. I don't see myself fading him. And I guess you could make the argument in tournaments to fade him because there are still good plays at his price point, but I will be eating the chalk there in Middleton. I think you guys should too, especially for cash games. And then the other options, probably my second favorite play here is Ersan at 3.3. He started with Giannis out last time, and I don't think we have that starting lineup out yet. Let me confirm that. Oh, it is out. Bucks will start DiVincenzo, Matthews, Middleton, Ilyasova, and Brook Lopez. Okay. And again, Aaron Holiday starting for Malcolm Brogdon. I'll talk about that in a bit. So with Ersan starting, I don't see myself fading him again. I think him and Middleton are going to be the most chalky, but for good reason. Really like both those guys. I think those 2 guys you definitely play in cash games, and then you can sprinkle in some of these other bucks. So those 2 definitely my favorite. They're going to be the most chalky. I'll be eating the chalk on both Middleton and Ersan Ilyasova. The other options are all very much in play with Brook Lopez, DiVincenzo, George Hill. You could look to like a Pat Connaughton too down here, but I guess my third favorite player would probably be George Hill at his price at 4.2. I think he gets about 25 or so minutes, and he's flashed the most upside, and he's still pretty cheap too. So I think George Hill, if I was going to play a third buck, I think it would be him. Don't mind DiVincenzo even at 5.1. The issue with him is he's never going to play the big minutes. Even with Giannis out, they have a lot of other guys that can use. So that's why, personally, I prefer George Hill because he's about $1,000 cheaper, and they should play similar minutes. So that's why I'll give the slight edge to George Hill over DiVincenzo. I don't mind if you get to Brook Lopez either. Another guy that I don't think plays huge minutes, but his usage will definitely go up in a good matchup against Atlanta. And then, Wes Matthews, I don't see myself getting there. Don't see myself getting to Robin Lopez or Kyle Korver. Maybe Connaughton at 3.1. I think he gets like 20 to 25. He's almost at min price, so I guess I don't hate that. DJ Wilson might even crack the rotation. We saw him get some decent run when Giannis is out last time, but I don't see myself getting there either. So all in all, again, recap of these Bucks. I think it's Middleton, Ersan for sure that you play. I think you at least play 2 Bucks in all your lineups. And then I think George Hill will probably be my third favorite, and then followed by, maybe DiVincenzo or Brook Lopez there. But that's what I got from Milwaukee. As far as the Atlanta side, so now I have a little bit more confidence targeting the Hawks. With Giannis out, this game has a better chance of staying close. So my main interest here is Trae Young and John Collins. Trae Young at 10.8K stands out as a decent option. There's not a whole lot of spend ups on the slate. So if you feel comfortable with value, guys, you can for sure go Trae Young. Again, the issue is, do you feel comfortable with the value guys? John Collins, I think, stands out as a really solid play. I think he's going to be pretty chalky. I think he's still a bit underpriced. And again, there's no Giannis. That's a boost. I think he plays about 35 minutes in a close game. So I do like John Collins there at 7.6. The other options, we got no Jabari, no Alex Len. So Alex Len, not a huge deal. Jabari is, wasn't playing big minutes, about 15. But those minutes do have to go somewhere. Herter and Hunter, I think, are fine secondary options if you get there. I think both have been playing pretty consistent minutes. Herter, probably over 30. Hunter has been getting close to 40. So those two guys have no issue if you land on them at 5.2 and 4.7K. I think both those guys stand out as pretty safe options. I don't think they're going to kill you because the minutes have been there for them recently. As far as like the value guys, if I want to take shots on guys, I think the one guy I would possibly take a shot on is DeAndre Bembry here, 3.2. I think maybe his minutes go up to about 25 or so with no Jabari Parker. But again, you're not going to feel great about that. That's only if you're like going more stars than scrubs. But that's what I got for the Atlanta side. So let's move on to this Pacers-Indiana game, or Pacers and Miami game. So on the Pacers side, we got no Malcolm Brogdon. That's pretty significant. He was playing big minutes, so those minutes have to go somewhere. I think Aaron Holiday at 5.4 will start and probably get about close to 30 minutes. I wouldn't expect 40 fantasy points again, but I think he's a mid-tier option certainly in play. I also think T.J. McConnell is a very sneaky option here. He played 24 minutes, was a little bit disappointing for playing 24 minutes, 20 fantasy points. Normally, he's a guy that's a little bit more productive. So I think if we get, over 20 minutes again from T.J. McConnell, that's really good. So he stands out as a really solid value play there, in my opinion, at 4.3. As far as Jeremy Lamb, TJ Warren, don't mind if you get there. I'm not going to go there personally. Miles Turner has been, the minutes been all over the place. I think he's only for GPPs. And then, my boy Domantas Sabonis at 8.1K, I think stands out as a safe option. I don't think he's going to kill you, and the upside is there for him. So that's what I got for the Pacers. I think all those guys are solid plays. I think probably my preferred play here in Indiana would be TJ McConnell at his price. But if you land on like Sabonis or if you land on Aaron Holiday, I don't have an issue there. On the Miami side, I think the main interest for me would probably be Jimmy Butler at 7.8K. That just stands out as a really solid price. Now I know, this not necessarily the best spot against the Pacers. The Pacers are a pretty solid defensive team, but he's priced under 8K. So I think Jimmy Butler would probably be my preferred target. I also like Bam. The issue with him is the price now. He's at 9K. But I just love that he fills up the stat sheet. Rebounds, assists, blocks, steals. The minutes have been huge on him in close games. He's going to get, about 35 or so. So I think he stands out as a decent option. I just don't know if I see myself getting there at his price. As far as the secondary pieces for Miami, I don't have a whole lot of interest with Kendrick Nunn or Tyler Hero. With Dragic back, that limits their upsides. Goran Dragic, I wouldn't mind taking a shot there for GPPs, but there's so many good guard plays for like a couple thousand more that I don't see myself getting there. Derrick Jones Jr. is an okay value play. I think he gets about 30 or so minutes. Not a guy that's huge upside, but I'm perfectly fine if you land on him. And then, Myers Leonard, even at 3.6, he's played over 20 minutes in 3 straight games. Now, I don't know if we expect that to continue. The good thing is the Pacers do run big with Miles Turner and Sabonis, so maybe he does get, closer to 25. I think he's a value guy you can take a shot on at his price. Kelly O, the minutes have been all over the place. That's only for GPPs, and that's what I got for Miami. Last game of the night, this is probably the game I have the most interest in, Phoenix Golden State. Just a lot of guys that stand out in my opinion. This is definitely my favorite game to game stack as well. So on the Phoenix side, I love Rubio, love Devin Booker. I think Booker will be the absolute chalk here at 6.9K. It's just way too cheap for him. I will be eating the chalk for sure. And I think Rubio I like a lot too. Now, everyone's going to play Booker, so I think Rubio goes lower owned. Personally, right now, I have both of them in. I just really like both in a game where Golden State plays not a lot of defense. So both those guys are underpriced. Both should play about 35 in a close game. I love both those guys. I really think you can play both in the same lineup if you want. Oubre, I don't mind getting there at 6.3. I think I would only go there as part of a full game stack. Again, my build right now, I do have a lot of guys in this game. I don't have Oubre in, but I'm perfectly fine if you get there. I think he plays about 35 or so minutes. And then Baines with no DeAndre Ayton. He's been getting consistent minutes. I think he gets close to 30. I think he stands out as a safe option at that price. And then Kaminsky, the minutes have been down on him, so I don't know if I could do it. Cameron Johnson, 3.5. Maybe take a shot. He's not going to play big minutes. I still don't see myself getting there. So that kind of wraps up for the Phoenix guys. Really, my main interest here is Rubio and Booker, and I like both those guys a lot. Two of my favorite plays of the day at 7.1 for Rubio and 6.9 for Devin Booker. On the Golden State side, I like a good amount here too. D'Angelo Russell really stands out as a good play at 7.4K. He had a somewhat down game there against Houston, 31 minutes, 32 fancy points, but the upside is big on him. I think he gets close to about 33 minutes, and he's a guy that can get you over 50 fancy points in an up-tempo game. So I just like a lot of pieces. I like Booker and Rubio on the Phoenix side. I like D'Angelo Russell on the Golden State side. I like Draymond Green at his price at 6.3K. No Eric Pascal. I think that secures his minutes for over 30. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. Now, I wouldn't expect him to shoot 8 of 14 again, but I don't think he kills you at this price, so I have interest in Draymond Green as well. I like him a good amount. As far as the other guys, so the wings here with Burks and Damian Lee. Burks is an interesting GPP play because he let a lot of people down, but I think if he plays well, maybe he gets extended to about 30 minutes. We know the upside is there, so only for GPPs there for Burks. Damian Lee, would not expect 50 fantasy points from him again. I think the ownership will go up on him because of recency bias. I'm perfectly fine if you get there. I think he stands out as a good option. I just would not expect 50 fantasy points from him again. And then Willie Cauley-Stein is still too cheap. He's gotten about 30 minutes the last 3 games, which is really good to see. And if he gets 30 minutes again in this one, I have interest at 4.5K. I think he's about $500 too cheap. So I do think Willie Cauley-Stein stands out as a good play at that price. Glenn Robinson's perfectly fine as well if you land on him. The good thing to see with him was they were using him a lot to guard Harden, so I think he's like their best defender that they're going to put on the best player on the other team. So maybe he gets extended run to guard Devin Booker. We'll see. Either way, at his price, I think he's very much in play as well. Maybe it's extended to like 17 like we did see here against Portland. Yeah, that's just a dart throw for GPPs. You can't feel good about it in cash. It is a revenge game, so just thought I would bring that up. And that is basically it. Kai Bowman, I thought I'd bring him up as well. He's played over 20 last couple games. He's at almost mid-price. He's active for this one too. So if you want to get really risky, you can take a shot there at his price. But that's what I got for Golden State. Again, this game, probably my favorite game to target on the Phoenix side with Rubio and Booker. On the Golden State side, you got D'Angelo Russell, Draymond Green, Willie Cauley-Stein, even those wings with Damian Lee and Burks. So that's basically what I got here. So let's get to some questions here. Baines, DiVincenzo, Herder, or none. If we're picking one from those guys, I think it would probably be. I think I would even DiVincenzo or Herder. I guess I would go DiVincenzo. Again, he's not going to play huge minutes, but I think he maybe gets close to 30. What about Damian Lee? Yep, so I do have interest in Damian Lee still. I would not expect 40 points from him, or 50 fantasy points from him again, but I think you can definitely still get there at his price. So they have DiVincenzo right now listed as the starting point guard. Again, I'm perfectly fine if you get there. I think if I was ranking my Bucks, it would be Ersan at his price, followed by Middleton, and then George Hill, and then, DiVincenzo and Brook Lopez probably fourth there. Let's see. Damian Lee has been blowing up. He's about to have a bad game. Changed my lineup. I want to stack the late game. I'm rocking with D'Angelo Russell, Booker, Middleton, Ersan, Willie Cauley-Stein, Rubio, John Collins, and Steven Adams. Very, very similar to mine right now. I think, if I was making more than one lineup, again, right now I have a lot of exposure to this game with a couple bucks. If I was making more than one lineup, I would probably make a lineup stacking this game, because if this game stays close, the Bucks-Hawks, it could be a gold mine there with Trae Young and John Collins, and even Herder and DeAndre Hunter, I think, are perfectly fine. And then the Milwaukee side, there's just a lot to like with no Giannis. So Those two games, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Phoenix, Golden State are my favorite games to target. Also, the OKC guys, those guards with CP3, Schroeder, and SGA. I think all three of those guys stand out as pretty solid plays. Let's see. Bowman. Yeah, I mean, you can take a shot there. Again, you're not going to feel great about it, but, he's almost min-priced. Jimmy Butler or Vooch, so I'm going to give the edge to Jimmy Butler there. Cauley-Stein plus Rubio or Baines plus D'Angelo Russell. I will go Cauley-Stein and Rubio. 5,400 utility. Let's see. So, I mean, Aaron Holiday, I think, stands out as a safe play. I think Herter or DiVincenzo. Again, it's a really close call for me with Herter and DiVincenzo. Both are pretty similar. I think Herter plays a little bit more minutes, but DiVincenzo, I think it's in the better spot. Again, it's a really close call. I think I would go with either DiVincenzo or Herter. I guess I would give the edge to DiVincenzo, but it's really close. DK, what's up, fam? Yo, what's up, DFS Whispers? Good to see you guys. Let's see. Liver's out with the damn groin injury. Oh, shoot. Ursan, LL. Dragic, good play today, DK. I think he's a good tournament play. Again, I don't see myself getting to him with so many good guard plays tonight, but I think he stands out as a good GPP play. Mikal Bridges and Jimmy Butler or Devontae Graham and Lamb. So I'm not super excited about Mikal Bridges. What's his price again? He's 3.7. The minutes have been up and down on him, 17, 12, 28. It's hard to trust for me, but I'm not. So, yeah, if for that reason, I think I'll go Devontae Graham and Lamb just because I don't really trust the minutes right now for Mikal Bridges. While my lineup is too chalky based on the chat, got to change some things. DeAndre Hunter, Willie Cauley-Stein, or Glenn Robinson. It's definitely DeAndre Hunter, Willie Cauley-Stein, and that's really close. I will give DeAndre Hunter's going to play more minutes. He's going to play about 40, while Willie Cauley-Stein probably gets about 30. I think I would give the edge to Willie Cauley-Stein slightly still, but yeah, that's really close. Steven Adams and John Collins or Chris Paul and Myers Leonard. Yeah, I think I would go Steven Adams and John Collins there. I'm not super high on Steven Adams, but I land on him, so I'm rolling with it. I don't think he's going to kill you. At 6.2K, it's a good spot, and he's probably in about 30 minutes or so, so I don't think he kills you there. Sorry, I was entering one more contest here. Let's see. Lopez or Aaron Holiday. I'm going to give the edge to Brook Lopez there. I don't mind either. I will just give the edge to Brook Lopez with no Giannis. Booker, D'Angelo Russell, Oubre, DeAndre Hunter, Ersan, CP3, Middleton, Rubio. Yeah, I like that a lot. Again, guys, I think you probably play at least $2 in every lineup. Rubio, Middleton, Butler, John Collins, Willie Cauley-Stein, Paul, Aaron Holiday, CP3, Ilya Silver. Or should I swap two and go Brook Lopez and D'Angelo instead of Holiday and Paul? I think I would go Brook Lopez and D'Angelo over Holiday and Paul. Thanks, yep. Glenn Robinson plus Adams or D'Angelo Russell, Bembry. If it's for GPP, I think I go D'Angelo Russell and Bembry and hope Bembry gets about 25 or so minutes. And he's at min price. So I guess for GPPs, I would go with that. Vooch or Butler, again, I think I'm going to give the edge to Jimmy Butler there. Screw the DFS whippers. Well, damn. What's up, DK? What up, Skywalker? Good to see you, man. Booker, a lock. I think for cash, I don't use the word lock, but he stands out as a really, really good play at his price. He's going to be really chalky. So for cash games, I would not fade him. I think the cash game plays are probably Middleton, Ersan, Devin Booker, and then maybe one of those OKC guards. How do you feel about Ben Simmons? I think he's a contrarian play. I don't see myself getting there personally, but at his price, he has flash upside in the last 3 games. So I think he stands out as a good contrarian tournament option. DiVincenzo or Dragic. If it's cash games, it's DiVincenzo. If it's GPP, I think it's going on Dragic because I think he makes for an interesting GPP play at his price. I don't know why everyone is so high on Russell. He can go out and score 30 points and still have 33 fancy points. I guess. I mean, he's not as scoring dependent as you think. Like, The last couple games, I guess, only 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. But normally he is a guy that can get you, 7 or 8 assists on a good night. Let's see, utility for 3,800. So not a whole lot I like down here. I guess Myers Leonard at 3.6. He has played over 20 in the last 3 games. Indiana runs big. So I guess I would go Myers Leonard there at his price because there's not a whole lot of great value guys down here. Or Ursan. If you don't have Ursan, definitely go Ursan at 3.3. But I assume you do have Ursan already in your lineup. Let's see. Ben Simmons or Sabonis. I got to give the edge to Sabonis there. He's my boy. Trey Collins, Bowman, or Collins, Russ, and Rozier. I will go Collins, Russ, and Rozier. Rubio and D'Angelo Russell or Trey and Wes Matthews. I'm going to go Rubio and D'Angelo Russell there. I just don't really trust Wes Matthews. By the way, me and you were both battling it out for last place in a double-up last night. Both didn't cash at all. Yeah, I was in a really good spot with fading Drummond. I had, again, De'Aaron Fox and Bagley. Unfortunate. I still was somewhat close to cashing with Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles and Randall were key last night, but if those guys don't get injured, it could have been a huge night. Graham or Butler, I'm going to still give the edge to Jimmy Butler there, even in a tougher spot. Trae Young and Ersan or Booker and Harris or PJ Washington. Wait, what? Thanks. Thoughts on Jimmy Buckets? Yeah, I like him at his price of 7.8K. I think he stands out as a safe option. I don't think he's going to kill you. I think in a close game, he gets close to 40 minutes, and he's underpriced. So I do like Jimmy Buckets. Bede Smash, I like him at his price at under 10K. It's whether or not you feel comfortable with the value guys. Full disclosure, I don't have him in, but I think he stands out as a good play at his price. Anytime you can get Embiid under 10K, it stands out in my opinion. Let's see. DFS Club in house. Leonard, a Bowman utility. I'll give the edge to Leonard there. I think he stands out as a bit safer. Bigs always have a higher floor. I think both get about 20 or so, maybe a little bit more, but I will give the edge to Leonard because Bigs always do have the higher floor. Charlotte, Bridges, and Butler or Lamb and Graham. I'm not super high on Miles Bridges, but I'll go Bridges and Butler because I do like Butler more than I like Devontae Graham. DK got more crowns in my mortgage. I know I got to use some of those crowns. I always forget about that. Embiid only 15%. Ingles smashed for you, and we both had Fox. Yep. Ingles and Randall were huge. Again, I was in great shape, and I only missed the cash by like 7 or 8 points with both Bagley and De'Aaron Fox in my lineup. Let's see. More crowns. Yep. Can we just say Aussie Joe kept me in the cash at triple my money? Yeah, Joe Ingles, baby. He was pretty low on too. Devontae Graham or Paul. I'll go Chris Paul there. But we're at lock. I can go over some ownership here in the first game and some tournaments. I only went GPP tonight. It's a smaller slate, but let's see. Trae Young, Hill, Robinson, Cauley Stein, Collins, Sabonis, Ilya Silva, Middleton. No issue with that at all. Let's see. Was it only the Charlotte OKC games? It's 76ers Magic as well. So we can look at ownership in the first couple of games here. Let's see. It usually takes a second to load up. Let's see. Graham or Paul again. I'll go Chris Paul there. I think I already answered that. And then that lineup. Okay. But let's look at some ownership. So I'll go in the $40 single entry. The one OKC guy I played was Chris Paul. He's pretty low owned at 8%. I don't mind that at all. Let's see what other people had and some other ownership. So Vucevic coming in at 10%. Let's see. Thanks. Yeah, of course, man. Steven Adams at 19%. No issue with that. I think he stands out as a safe play. Al Horford at 6%. Joel Embiid at 6%. Hey, I would take that all day. Embiid under 10K at under 10% owned. No issue with that for GPPs. Tobias 7%. So a lot of these guys are pretty low owned in these first couple of games. I think a lot of people had the same idea as me, as get players in that Bucks and Hawks game in your lineup, as well as the Golden State and Phoenix game. Let's see. Doing great work, DK. We all appreciate it. I appreciate that, Skywalker. You guys are doing great work as well. I see you guys cashing out all the time. Let's see. I have to get in that Discord chat as well. I need to make that account. I keep forgetting about that. Playing 4 lineups tonight. One has a Milwaukee Atlanta stack. Okay, one has a Phoenix Golden State stack, and the others are more spread out. I love that a lot. Again, if I was making 2 lineups, I think I would, stack that late game as well as the Milwaukee Atlanta game. Those would be my 2, and then you have 2 spread out. That's perfectly fine for 4 lineups there. But yeah, it looks like a lot of these guys are really low owned these first couple games. I'm not seeing anything that's high. Again, I only have Chris Paul. I got him at 8%. But nothing really standing out. I mean, I like Embiid's ownership. I didn't get there personally, but he's like 6% owned. All right, but I think I'm going to hop out of here, guys. So I really appreciate all you guys coming to check out the live stream. I will have my video up for I think we have 14 games, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday. Yeah, 14 games. So I will have that video up, probably not tonight, but tomorrow morning. So be on the lookout for that. Yes, you do. I appreciate it, brother. Of course, man. But thanks again for everyone to come and check out the live streams. I really do appreciate it. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it's in the description below. I'll give my thoughts as we get news. Really not waiting on a whole lot of injury news, but it's still important to follow me on Twitter. Thanks again. I hope you guys all have a great Friday, and I will see you guys tomorrow.